Good evening, people. So, well, I've started. You might not be starting, but I've started. So, I mean, I don't know what you're waiting for. Now, who's messing up here? Me or the equipment? It's got to be. Right. Yeah, bless up Terence Crawford, man. Saeed, it's a perfect end to a ish Monday. God bless. Not a good day, man. All right. So, like I say, what I'm going to talk about, obviously, I mean, it's going to be a bit like Marmite. November the 22nd, Anthony Yard takes on David Benavides in Saudi Arabia. WBC light heavyweight title will be at stake. Now, here's the thing, yeah. I want to ask, Yard is challenging for the light heavyweight title. That means if he wins, he joins a certain club. And it's not necessarily that people could, like, you have to be able to answer this. But outside of Bob Fitzsimmons, where, it's borderline legit to claim Bob Fitzsimmons as a light heavyweight champion. It's borderline. He never fought in the UK. But forget that. Aside from Bob Fitzsimmons, could anyone name the other British world light heavyweight champions? And it's not important if you can. But I want to prove a point here. Without Googling it. Can anyone name previous British light heavyweight champions? Without Googling it. Because I was asking myself the same thing. The ones I came up with was Joe Calzaghe, Ring Magazine light heavyweight champion. Dennis Andrews, two-time light heavyweight champion. Not wondering if I missed some. Like, we got John Conte, former WBC light heavyweight champion before that. And I want to say Freddie Mills in the 40s. I don't know if I've missed any, and I may well have done. But that's without Googling the answer. Yeah, and you got Nathan Cleverly. Nice one, Ronnie. Nice one. We've got Nathan. I forgot Nathan. Yeah, Nathan Cleverly from Wales. And the reason I'm asking that, because even see, like even like Ron, he got one, right? He got one, which is, I mean, better than most, right? I'm just wondering what kind of perspective do people watch boxing? How centered can you be about boxing if you ain't got a clue about who did what in previous years? And I'm going to bring up the Dana White thing again. I'm just going to piss people off. But how can you be saying, Beats, this was great journalism, and you have no historical reference point to know what was great before Sean Ziddell? I don't get it. I don't get how some channels open up channels and they haven't done at least a little bit of research on the history. I don't get how they're so confident to do it. But the reason is because the sub the subs, they know as little as they do. I don't get that. And see, the thing is, you can say, well, Beats, I mean, you're old school, innit? Yeah, I'm old school. Did you think I was around when Freddie Mills was fighting? No, I wasn't around. That was 30 odd years before I was born. But how do I know? I know who he fought and I know who he lost the title to. You know, like I haven't uploaded a lot in recent weeks because I've gone back to work. I've gone back to work, man, because to me, I'm not seeing the critical thinking from media or boxing fans. I'm not seeing it, and it's like I feel old. I feel out of place. I feel like I actually know too much to be here. That sounds a bit conceited, but yeah, I do. I feel I actually know a little too much to be here. I feel overqualified. I found it weird debating people about the TKO thing, and they had no receipts to say who's a bad promoter, who's a good promoter about moral ethics. They have no receipts at all, but I was wrong, and I bought all the receipts. But I was wrong. They were right. Yeah. So I can't stay on that long. I've got to get up early, man. At some stage, I haven't got much editing to do. But hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to edit up a couple of videos. But it's going to be on the same topic as well, so I don't know how it's going to go down at all. Um, yeah, just strange to me. Like, how can I discuss hip hop with somebody, right, and not know the original samples to the record? But then I want to be the expert in the conversation. You're the expert in the conversation, but you don't even know how the first hip hop tunes were made. You don't know what drum machines were used. You don't know what samplers were used. You don't know who was using them. But yet, you're the expert in the conversation. Whew. It's a trip, bro. It's a trip. How these days you can be the big dogs bollocks, but you have no foundation. You have no foundation. Guzzy said attention spans are too short nowadays. In my opinion, people want sound bites and don't want to do the deep dive. It's crazy, isn't it? Pick up Guzzy. Yeah, Nathan Kirkley was the world champion, come to think of it. I'm trying to think of who he beat without Googling it. That's what people should do. Give themselves a test. Can you think of like these things without Googling? Who did he beat for the title? Did he have a lower tier title first? He lost it to Kovalev. He fought Tony Bellew. Defending, I think defending the title was that for the vacant belt or something. I remember him fighting Tony Bellew. It was pretty close, and he won it. Where did he win the title from? Nathan Cleverly. I don't want to Google it. Mohammed said these kids don't even know what Bob Fitzsimmons. Well, you spelled it wrong for a start, Mohammed, but it's all good. His favorite meal is. I want to argue. Dr. Woodok is the attention deficit generation. Is that what it is? They just can't focus on something for a period of time. Maybe that's what it is then. Why do they have this need to be right if they have no reference to make debating points? Like, when did that become a thing? You could be right. Yeah, I don't agree, Beats. But hold on, Beats has got all the receipts. All the historical receipts up to today. I've got all the receipts, but you don't agree. You don't agree with the receipts or the truth. Yeah, that's it's the new thing, isn't it? It's the new thing, I guess. It's the new thing. It's the new thing. Like at time, I was on Twitter, and a few people told me that Kendrick Lamar, who did they say was better than him again? He's better than all the old school. He's better than Rakim, Kool G Rap, Kane, KRS One. And they were deadly serious as well. They were deadly serious. They were deadly serious. Kendrick Lamar was the greatest thing that ever grabbed the mic. See, that's the thing. Like, it's clickbait, isn't it? Like that's the thing. You got to do clickbaits to really be a real channel. And that's like Talksport. They do so much clickbait. So much clickbait. They done a clickbait where they made out that Adam Smith was tearing Anthony Joshua apart for calling out Tyson Fury. And then when you listen to the video, he said nothing about Anthony Joshua. All he said is he wanted to see the Fury AJ fight. Sean says Kendrick is a great rapper, but he ain't better than Rakim. Kendrick rapping voice is too annoying. Yeah, they were saying Kendrick was the best ever. Dodge, he said, that is blasphemy beats. Kendrick is good, but that's a wild take. You know, but that's their opinion, isn't it? Like, they're allowed their opinions, I guess. But if you're talking about West Coast MCs, Ice Cube's solo catalog from America's Most, Kill It Will LP, Death Certificate. It's hard to like hear people say that this guy's better. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Dr. Wu says Kendrick is the best in a poor era. Wait, he's the best rapper now, yeah? Is because I wouldn't know. Is Kendrick better than Slaughter? Not Slaughter. Who's them kids? Conway the Machine and them guys. I prefer their music. I prefer their music to Kendrick. What was it? Benny the Butcher. I forgot their name now. I'm so out of touch with modern day rap. Yeah, that's it. Griselda. That's it, Griselda. Is Kendrick better than Griselda, yeah? No, I prefer Griselda. What's up, Anthony? What's good? Dr. Woodlock says no. Like, what was that song he did years back? Someone educate, not years back, just not like us. Who is he talking about? Isn't like them? Was it an ode to FBA culture, Kendrick? We're not like us. He was talking about Drake. What, Canadians ain't like us, or anyone outside of the diaspora is not like us? Dodge. I heard Sly Stone say Tyson Fury was the best heavyweight ever. I nearly fell out my chair. People say mad stuff. At times, it's weird. The best heavyweight ever, yeah? Boy, Carl Weathers must have been punching him up in his head for real. Yeah, but it wasn't just a diss to Drake, sure, because he was saying they're not like us. He didn't say Drake ain't like us. He said they're not like us. Isn't that what he said? Like Kendrick Lamar against the best MCs. Well, Kendrick Lamar can write poetry like Scarface. I don't think so. Like I don't get. I'm just trying to understand, right? How you can be. Then again, I'm asking everyone to be like me, but there's no way, right? There's no way I can be watching the heavyweight championship, right? And I can't reference the title at least to a certain period back. It's got like, all right, I can go all the way back. I'm not expecting everyone to do that. But if you can't reference the heavyweight championship, at least back to Muhammad Ali or even Mike Tyson, or like, I don't get, like, if you're 10 years old, then it's different, right? Wow. Hmm. I don't get it. I'm just trying to understand. Like, Terence Crawford, right? And I'm doing this randomly, I ain't written it down, yeah? He won the undisputed 168-pound titles. I can automatically tell you the first super middleweight champion was Murray Sutherland, right? Murray Sutherland was a Scottish, was he Scottish Canadian? He beat Ernie Singletary on points. Anthony says, have human beings grown bigger? That's why we have these 6'5" plus heavyweights dominating. Well, you said you're not 6'5", bro. I mean, you're not 6'5". That could maybe start leveling itself out. Big up Blood Boxing. Appreciate the super chat, bro. Appreciate the super chat. And he said he's good for this era. Well, that like doesn't say much about. But then again, I shouldn't say much because I don't listen to the rap these days. I just don't. I don't know what I mean. I don't want to critique it too much, but I don't listen to a lot of it. I just don't listen to a lot of it, man. I see Ghostface Killer's son. He made a diss rap about it. Ghostface's son looks like he's gone full LGBT. Yeah. I'm like, wow. Is that some kind of like, I don't know, let me not say. Because when you think about guys like Ghostface had a reputation of doing street stuff, beating up people in clubs and being this ultra hard MC, you know what I mean, shotting food and stuff. And probably as anti that lifestyle his son is living as possible. And then his son comes out that way. Look at Ninja Man from Jamaica. Ninja Man, I mean, like gun pun, D-ton. I mean, your Dan Dada is coming. I mean, and his son came out. His son came out flaming. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they weren't in their son's lives, man. I mean, maybe they weren't in their lives. Yeah, this is out. This to Ghostface is out there. It's like, whoa, what is that? Nice. I guess Ghost probably tried to disown him when he found out that, you know what I mean? He was playing that way. Muhammad says Scarface is overrated. Well, that's your opinion. Well, okay. Muhammad, name me 3 Scarface songs. Yeah? Name me 3 for you to say he's overrated. Just 3. Just 3 off the top. Let's see if you can do it, yeah? Without, you're probably going to Google it, but let's see if you can do it. All right, name me 2. Name me 2 Scarface songs. I'll make it easy. Name me 2. Big up Dodge. Said he can't understand a damn thing modern rappers say half the time. Blood says, I still listen to the old school rappers. Many of them still drop new stuff here and there. Yeah, we always have to go back, innit? It's kind of like the art form just stagnated. You know? But maybe it's just like, maybe I've got old and I just can't connect with the audience that are into rap now. And he said, I watched a show with Ghost over a year ago and he brought his son up on stage. I'm wondering if he was the same son. Is this the son he had with RZA's sister? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. He called himself Sweet Face Killer. Wow. See, the thing is, yeah, even past rap, right? When it comes to music, man, I could go back to like Rufus Thomas. That was before my time, Rufus. Screaming Jay Hawkins. He was I put a spell on you. That's what Biggie used for kicking the door. I'd go way back to the music that I was born. I'm just trying to understand, like, why they don't connect with the roots of whether it's boxing or music. Why they don't connect with the roots of what they're listening to or watching. You know, I don't get it. And then when they're debating you like they're in a position of knowledge. Like, if I was talking to Bert Sugar, if he was still alive, now I might be able to correct him on a few things he gets wrong, no doubt. But I have to approach him like I'm getting taught the lesson because he knows way more than I do. You know, they're talking about corruption in boxing, and like I do videos and I do so much receipts, and I'm thinking, oh, I actually waste my time doing all the receipts because they're not listening. They're not listening. I'm actually wasting my time. They're not listening. Barry Hearn the other year, what did he say? Dillian White, he's a free agent. Our times have changed. You know, he hasn't got the contracts we had back then, the slave contracts. We were slave traders. And he thought he was well funny. It was a stupid comment for him to say, yeah? We were slave traders. And he didn't say him, he said we. So he was talking about all promoters across here and across the pond and wherever. And Dana White weren't in boxing when all this was taking place. When Barry Hearn was a slave trader. They didn't let him do press conference. He hasn't done a press conference really since, has he? So yeah, you better keep him off there. Man will shut down your business. But he told the truth. He told the truth. Now, he might not have just been specifically talking about black fighters, because the era he's talking about, when Matchroom started, it was predominantly white fighters fighting on Matchroom, apart from Eubank and maybe some others I can't think of. But yo, what he said was the truth. My brother passed away in the 90s, Alex. His uncle, no, his dad was the first immigrant to win a British title, Bunny Sterling. And if you look at his box rec, he's fighting all over Europe, in South Africa, and here and there. Because when he was trying to defend his title, the purses they were offering him were unacceptable. But if he was a white British champion, it would have been different. The guy he beat for the title was an individual named Mark Rowe, South Londoner, white man. So Mark Rowe was with the Cartel. Mickey. I don't know if Lawless was around then, but he eventually joined. Jarvis Astaire and Mike Barrett. Mike Barrett had the Royal Albert Hall venue on lock, and they had all the TV dates. So Bunny Sterling beat this guy for the title. And he beat him again and retired him a few fights after. But before Bunny, no, I tell a lie. Yeah. After Bunny, I should say. After Bunny beat Mark Rowe, or should I say before Bunny beat Mark Rowe, there was an individual from Nottingham. His name was Jimmy Pritchett. His record was about 32 wins. He lost his last fight and then retired. 32 wins, one loss, which was when he challenged for the European title against, was it Carlos Duran or something Duran? He was the British champion before Mark Rowe got the belt. And he was 160 like Mark Rowe. When this guy retired, and let me show you, he retired because basically he fought for the Cartel as well. But he claims because he was outside of the loop in London and weren't as popular, he couldn't sell as much tickets. So Mark Rowe was the favored fighter. But they wouldn't pitch Mark Rowe in with this guy. But when he retired, then Mark Rowe fought for the title against someone named McAteer and won the title. And then my homeboy's dad took the title off him. And he retired. Because he said he wasn't getting the opportunities. That same year, right? Does anyone know who Ken Buchanan is without Googling him? Right? He was the Scottish World Heavyweight Champion. A few years before he won that belt, he retired. He gave his British Boxing Board of Control license back to them. Because basically, his manager, Pat Thomas, was being pushed out by the British, you know, the British Boxing Board of Control. Ray Clark was the secretary. He would have words to a lot of fighters' management and to the fighters, telling them that you would be better off signing up with the cartel and leaving your guy. We'll get your opportunities on the Wembley bills, on the Royal Albert Hall bills. And yeah, Ken Buchanan was forced to do like what kind of venues would they call it? Like men's clubs shows and stuff like that. So he just gave his title back in. And then when he did win the title, he did have the WBC title. I don't know what the politics were, but he wasn't able to keep that. Then he ended up, I think he started with the NSAC, the New York State, and then he ended up with the WBA. And then he ended up with the WBA belt. But Britain didn't recognize the WBA belt. This guy was never able to defend his titles in the UK because the British Boxing Board of Control wouldn't have sanctioned him. And then a little while after, he signed up with the cartel. And he himself, there's video testimony of him saying, yeah, when he signed up, he was able to fight on all the big cards and didn't have a problem. People don't understand the corruption in British boxing, bro. Just in Britain, forget America. America was 20 times worse, right? But Britain alone, little small Britain, was as corrupt and still is. And this is why I'm contemplating whether I should do videos anymore, because if I'm going to give you historical context to what I'm saying, and you're just going to jump over it and say you're right and you haven't got no historical context, it's probably no point. I think that's why Blood don't post up as much. That's what I reckon, Blood. I reckon you don't post up for the same reason, just like a lot of uploaders. I think people like me and Blood are probably thinking, what is the point me posting up if you're going to talk like you know more than me after Blood has told away making detailed documentaries about guys like Hagler and other fighters. And then you're going to pipe up and say, yeah, Blood, you did this wrong and you don't know that and that. You're thinking, well, because that's what listen, if Bert Sugar was alive, these guys would talk to Bert like they know more than him. Although Bert Sugar could detail Sam Langford's career, you know, he could talk about Larry Gaines, Joe Gans, the Barbados D-Man, all these people in detail. How are the people who know the least about the sport in charge of the class? It don't make sense to me. It's crazy. Yeah, Britain, but like the corruption in Britain, bro. People don't even get it, man. Let me tell you something, right? You see, even before that era I spoke, yeah, right? Let me keep going, right, in Britain. You see, in the 40s, and I mentioned Freddie Mills as one of the British light heavyweight champions, world light heavyweight champions, yeah? Now, I think he might have had the business when he was active, but when he retired, definitely, yeah, he had a club in Soho, right? And this is in the 40s. And Britain acts like it's prim and proper, but it's not really. Britain is not as dangerous as a lot of areas, but Britain is very grimy, very vice-ridden, very corrupt. See, back then in the 40s, there was drugs. Soho was really bad. There was drugs, there was vice, prostitution. Our top promoter back then was Jack Solomons. He's a Hall of Fame promoter. He promoted Sugar Ray Robinson versus Randy Turpin and all the big fights over here. He promoted the first. Did he do the first Ali Cooper fight? He could well have done, right? He had an office in Old Compton Street, which is in Soho also. And I've got the book, and he spoke about how the lady boys, basically boys being traded out for you know what, right? We're all over the place. And you see Freddie Mills, he had that club and he had a Chinese partner. So when he was getting extorted by the gangsters, it could have been the Craze, for all I know. He was getting extorted and they were bringing his business to its knees. So he tried to fight back. And he was threatening to uncover the homosexual ring of men who were playing around with these lady boys. And it was enough of them, not enough proper man in that homosexual ring. And he was threatening to expose it. There was another individual named Benny Huntsman involved in the story. And he used to work with Jack Solomons, and he used to work with the mob across the pond, bringing fighters over here, working with the mob. Next thing, they found Freddie dead, gunshot. About 2 or 3 gunshots. They said it was suicide. But he was fucking with some heavy people, trying to threaten them, bribe them and whatnot. He was trying to get the money from some powerful people to keep the business running. The next thing, he was dead. Yeah. Jack Solomons is a Hall of Fame promoter. But they don't talk about the fixed fights, the alleged fixed fights. Bruce Woodcock versus Lee Omer. Bruce Woodcock was the British heavyweight champion. Fixed fight. Boxing has always been corrupt. Always been corrupt. But, you know, like, hey, listen. I've been trying to work on my craft in terms of uploading videos. So what I've been trying to do throughout the years, and I think I've done a good job, but not according to these lot, to my subs who say they're going to unsub, and they have. Not according. I've done a good job. So I try not to attach myself to the individual, whether I like him or not. And I try to break down the facts, not use how much I like or dislike him to create the narrative. And that's what I did with Dana, and it's upsetting them. But the facts are, Dana is a choir boy to the people who are still promoting cars today and before them. Yeah. He's a choir boy. Frank Warren could tell you some stories, bro. But he keeps stum. But Frank Warren could tell you some stories. Like how when he was at the Grosvenor House, because that's where he had to promote, he couldn't get access to Wembley. He couldn't get access to the Royal Albert Hall. The cartel had them venues. So they brought over a heavyweight named Oscar Holman. And Frank was using him to fight one of his heavyweights. And he failed at a CTE or a brain scan. He failed it. Some abnormality with his skull. Then 2 years later, he comes back to the UK and he's able to fight on a cartel card. Frank Warren knows the story. People have tried to ask him about it and he's played it off. But he knows about it. These things like the corruption, man. Corruption in the sport is bad, man. It's bad. It's bad. If you were to get rid of all the corrupt promoters, you'd be left with no promoters in Britain and America. You'd be left with none at all. But what options do the boxers have? They've got to work with who are the top of the food chain. And the guys at the top of the food chain are ruthless people. Choir boys can't make it in boxing. They get their lunch money taken from them. They can't survive. They get their lunch money taken. That's why it's all the real ruthless dudes who survive. Get your lunch money taken. How do you think Don King survived in his era? The only prominent black man. How do you think he survived? Because Don didn't take no shorts and he was clever as well. He was very clever. When Sugar Ray Leonard was rematching Roberto Duran, right? There was a meeting held outside of America. I don't want to say it could have been in Panama because they needed to make sure Duran was right. I can't remember where it was, if it was with Duran. But basically, Bob Arum knew about this plane trip this meeting. He knew about the meeting. And him and Bob used to handle Duran's affairs. Not Duran's. He used to handle Leonard's affairs on a fight-by-fight basis. And Duran, I think, was contracted with Don King. I think he was. But Don handled a lot of Duran's fights around that time. Bob Arum thought Don didn't know about the meeting. He thought he didn't know. Bob Arum got on the plane to go where he was going, and Ray Leonard's lawyer, Mike Trainer, was on the plane as well. So they thought, I don't think Mike Trainer was in on it, but Bob, he was obviously trying to, cut Don out of whatever information and out of whatever piece of the action that he thought he could. When Bob Arum got on the plane, guess who he saw on the plane? He saw Don King on the plane. He saw Don King on the plane. Like him see a ghost. Don had ears everywhere, or he wouldn't have survived that long. Yeah. I just strange to me, man. Why, and like I said, man, Ali told Tim Witherspoon, I know you ain't getting all that cash from Don. These are the people who the boxers have to work with. And they've got to try and make it work as best for themselves as they can. If you collapse that TKO deal, you're not going to hurt Dana. You're going to hurt the fighters who have signed up. That's who you're going to hurt. The only thing you can do in life is when you're faced with doing business with corrupt people is do your business as correctly as you can. Try and safeguard yourself, and make sure that you're meticulous with the people around you sorting out your business. But I tell you this much, Callum Walsh has already bought a house with the money he got from the last fight on the Crawford card and the guarantees he's going to get when he fights on TKO. He's already bought a house with land, and he's got his farm animals and his wife. He's already got a house. So when you're going to tear it down, make sure that you're not going to affect Dana. You're going to affect the fighters. The fighters are just struggling. Fighters are just struggling, bro. Do you think most fighters at 24 years of age, like Callum Walsh, can afford to buy a house with land? No, they can't. Most fighters are struggling to pay their rent, basic rent. And what a lot of these do-gooders, how naive are they to buy into this Sean Ziddell? What, the same Sean Ziddell who was saying that Inoue was juicing? D-Style revealed that. I saw the receipts. D-Style revealed it on Twitter. I've got more receipts on it. These guys know nothing about boxing. Fight Hype. You think them Fight Hype know nothing about boxing, bruh? They do it for business. And I had people on my channel saying, oh, Sean worked for Fight Hype. So what? So what? Like, that's supposed to mean something to me. They were Floyd Mayweather's mouthpiece, weren't they? When Floyd didn't want to do interviews with other outlets. Did they challenge Fight Hype about Al Heyman managing and promoting? Because that's what he was doing. Oscar and Bob took him to court on that, but they didn't get nowhere. But the truth is, that's what he's doing. He's been using fake promoters. Lou better want no proper promoter for nobody. Fake promoters to circumvent the Muhammad Ali Act. When do you see Fight Hype challenge them on that? Huh? I'm supposed to be impressed because you work for Fight Hype. No, I'm not impressed. You might be impressed by that. I'm not impressed. It's not that impressive to me. You work for Fight Hype. So what? So what? You ain't putting no money in nobody's pocket. You're not putting no money in no one's pocket, bro. You go and explain. Blood said none of them know what they are talking about. They're all just fanboys with a camera. Nothing more than that. That's all they are. That's all they are. Oh, I'll get the Floyd interview. Talking about Floyd, like, everyone knows, Blood tell you Beats is a Floyd fan. I never once said Floyd is the great. Floyd is not the great. Them guys, Fight Hype used to say he was the greatest ever, agree with everything. Just suck up to him. No, he wasn't the greatest ever. No, he's not the greatest ever. You're his mouthpiece. When all them PBC welterweights were avoiding Terence Crawford, I'm on this side of the street. Where were Fight Hype? What were Fight Hype doing? What did they do? Did they say anything? Did they challenge the status quo? But they want to challenge Dana. Where were they? Where was Sean? Where was Sean when they froze Rigondeaux out? His promoter froze him out. And the network froze him out. Where was Sean? Where was he? Nowhere to be found, bro. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere. Big up Tone, big up Lisa. These people will call people out when they have an agenda. Now, I don't know what their agenda is against TKO. They ain't calling out no corruption. They ain't calling out no corruption. They have an agenda. Blood says he stays as close to the traditional media as he can, but even them guys are ridiculous now. I guess Benny Briscoe will never get in, but Sean Porter will. Laughing out loud. The voting tells us the decline. Is Benny not in the Hall of Fame? He drew with Carlos Monzon, man. You know what I mean? He was the uncrowned prince or king before he fought Hagler. That was the title they were fighting for. That's what I'm saying. You ask Sean Villa about Benny Briscoe. He'd be like, who? Yeah, from the Philly circuit. He was he used to work for sanitation. He used to do the bins blood. He used that for work, a regular job. Yeah. What we would call a dustbin man. And you see, when Benny and a lot of the American fighters were applying their trade, right? I think Blood probably knows the answer, right? There was probably one world title in America from when Ben Venuti had the title in the 60s, way up into the 70s, right? Because Bob Arum and Sabatini kept the belt out of America. All the Americans were fighting on the Philly circuit, tolling away. They weren't getting no shot of none. That's why Marvin Hagler had to go to Tip O'Neill. And who was the other guy? Was it Kennedy, the politician from Boston, to get his title shot? These people don't know about corruption in boxing. And I'm from Britain. I tell you what, I'm from Britain. I would school Sean about corruption and politics. And I would school him like a student. These guys talking to me like Sean has more boxing knowledge of what's going on than me. Because he works for Fight Hype. Big up Denise. Big up Denise. No, he's not there. Let's see. It's corruption, blood. It's corruption. Corruption. But you see, if we had them old school scribes like Nat Fletcher and don't get me wrong, they had their prejudices, Bert Sugar. Yeah? But then they'd be there. But this is what I'm saying, blood, right? You've got all these modern media, right? When you're saying stuff like that, they can't do nothing to rectify it. They're not interested. They're not interested. So, right, we have media that are not guardians of the sport. They're not guardians of the history of the sport, but they're the authority. I'm supposed to bow to Sean Sittell because he works the Fight Hype. No, I don't think so. He's in the Philly Hall of Fame. Well, hey, listen, that's probably good enough, blood. As long as he's in the Philly Hall of Fame, that's probably good enough. You know what I mean? The Philly Hall of Fame is just as important as Las Vegas or wherever. You know what I mean? Yeah. See, they don't know about the Philly circuit, about the Spectrum Arena and the Blue Horizon, Russell Peltz. They don't know about all that. They don't know. They haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue about the history of the sport in their own country, and they don't care about it. They don't care. Ridiculous. And maybe these topics ain't important to a lot of people, but when you get to my age, you're thinking, wow. Like, see, to me, yeah, I'm a different breed though. I couldn't put boxing information out there and not know the history of the sport. I wouldn't do it. I'd leave it alone, bro. I'd leave it. I just wouldn't even do it. I wouldn't do it. I'd feel like a fraud. I would just feel like the biggest fraud. But I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm saying, right, a lot of these people, like the Boxing Voice, they talk like they're like, yeah, I'm the big bollocks. They talk, and like, you think, how do you talk with such authority and you don't know nothing about? Because look, I got no problem with someone making their money or covering their boxing, but it's when they start talking like they're more important than people who actually know the history. It's not. It's a bad look for the sport. Big up Toby and Jerome Benjamin. Toby said Sean will probably answer he's a member of ABBA. And this man accused of Nui of cheating, of peg taking. Based on what are these accusations? Fight Hype. Suck up to Floyd. Suck up to Floyd way too much. Tony says a lot of people hate Dana. Is he any worse than the majority of promoters? I despise Aaron and Oscar. I still watch Top Rack and Golden Boy cards. I'm a fan of the fighters. There you go. Well said, Tom. Well said. Well said. Well said. And that's all I was trying to explain. Exactly. Tom said what I've been trying to explain over bloody minutes and hours. He said it in one caption there. You know what I mean? I'm trying to explain. I don't care who puts on the card. Dillian White, Dana White. Why do I care? Why do I care? Yeah. See, Blood's breaking it down. Monzon split the belts because he was mad at the WBC. Yep. Valdez. Trying to get more of your comment. Yeah, I remember Valdez. What's his name? Valdez. I forgot his first name. A Latin fighter, obviously. And did he lose to Hugo Coro? Hugo Coro got the belts for a little while. You know what I mean? Then you had at that time you had contenders like Mark Colbert, who Hagler beat. I know you covered that in your documentary. Yeah. Yeah. History. If you can't like break down the history, then see, and what they do, they cheat. They cheat. You listen to some of them, and they will like revise the history, and no one can challenge them because they don't know no better than they are. Boxing is one of those sports where the history has to be told for you to make sense of it, real sense of it. See, the thing is, yeah, if you go on football channels who cover football, you hear a lot of the top ones, they can cover the old school football. They can cover it. Because they know it's important to connect to the audience by being able to do that. Wow. Yeah, it does suck, blood. It definitely sucks. The guys doing the voting just don't know. Yeah, they haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue, bro. They haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue. Blood said, yeah, I don't have the energy to try and prove my points anymore. Not in this internet era. Yeah, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. I know you feel exactly. It's just like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I know how you feel. Blood said he stopped listening when Nez said the history isn't important. That was over a decade ago. Yeah, see, the history isn't important. I mean, that's wild. It's absolutely wild. Lisa said maybe you guys can get on the board to become voters. You think they're going to let people in who have historical knowledge of the game, Lisa? Nah, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. That's how they're going to control it, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Listen, he's done well with the show. Fair enough. He has done well with the show. I agree, but to say the history ain't important is crazy. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Yeah, Rodrigo Valdez. Rodrigo Valdez. Yeah, he was very skillful actually. A skillful boxer. Wow. Yeah, he lost to Coro. Was Coro Argentinian? See, even my memory like is not great on it, but wow. Blood says yes. They know the audience doesn't know, so they make up their own accomplishments and stories. Yeah, I've heard them do it. I've heard them do it. Like there was one of them who used to talk to Nate. What's his name? The lightweight champion, Nate Campbell. And by chance, I was listening to his show, and you know what he said? What the guy running the show? He said how many times Nigel Benn, when he come over to the USA and used to get beaten up. And I said, I beg your pardon. Nigel Benn was never beaten by an American boxer. He went over there and won the WBO title against Doug DeWitt, defended against Iran Barkley, right? And had a couple more fights over there against Jorge Opara and Quinones, and he never lost in America. And then his other pivotal fight against America, an American, was Gerald McClellan. And then he's telling everyone how Nigel Benn is getting whooped by Americans in America. Made it up. And when I challenged him on it, he tried to put up the comment, but I kept challenging him. He said, no, I don't never make stuff up, bro. I said, whoa. Big up the beauty of the pencil. Big yourself up. Blood said, I always bring receipts and articles. They give wrong info all the time. Even guys like Max Kellerman. Yeah, they do. And over here, Duke McKenzie. Like everyone picking up Duke. Oh, yeah, Duke McKenzie. Duke. And he's a former world champion. But, yo, a lot of his information was incorrect. A lot of it. Crazy. Big up, Anthony. Big up, beauty the pencil. Like, you listen to, you go to any of them young white kids who have got a rock band or something, or an indie band or anything like that. See if they can't trace the music. All of them can trace it back, bro. To Gene Simmons and, you know what I mean? All of them can trace it back. Acting like, you know what I mean, like they invented the wheel. You know you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Yeah, he was Monzon's people. Yeah, Hugo Coro. Yeah. Was he stripped to the title? Or did he lose it? Was one of them stripped because they won't fight Hagler? I can't remember that, man. Tom says some boxing content creators on YouTube, I can't stand narcissists lying for clicks. Their audience willfully ignorant and easily pleased. Yeah, it's like some horrible creators out there, man. They'll say anything, man. They will say anything. Talking about Crawford. Crawford didn't fight no one. What are you talking about when all the welterweights on the PBC was just avoiding him? And Bob Arum said he killed the fight. And then that's the most dishonest thing, to say someone ain't fought no one when they're actively being avoided by both promotion companies. One of the promotion companies he's on, his promoter is protecting the franchise player from him. And then they're saying, oh, you haven't fought nobody. How that can't be fair. If you're being avoided, it can't be fair to say he hasn't fought nobody if they're avoiding you. How is that fair? A fair discussion. But modern day boxing fans will use that against certain fighters. They'll use it against them. That's just like, wow. I don't get that. Retro said an American never beat Ben, and that's facts. Exactly. Like, people to beat him was Eubank, Collins, and who was it? Malinga. Was it Malinga? Who was the African guy who beat him? He beat him twice, you know, but they gave him The first time they gave Nigel the decision, and then the next time he beat him on points. I remember watching the first fight and like I was expecting Ben to knock this guy over. Nope. Guy beat him. But Ben got the decision. I can't remember his name, man. He just had his number. He just had Ben's number. Both fights. Just had his number. Blood said there are some other guys that are known as historians, but they are not. They have to read. Yeah. Exactly. And like their fans lap it all up. And you know automatically they haven't done the research. Lap it all up. Yeah, I don't know who Muhammad was talking about. You got to put a name to who you were talking about, Muhammad. There's no way no one can know who you were talking about. Yeah, is what it is, man. Oh, Vito the Mosquito. He defeated Coro. You know what I mean? Yeah, like Vito. You see, remember when the races bottled Hagler at Wembley, yeah? Vito was doing commentary, right? For one of the American networks. So he was in the UK. And them hooligans went crazy. I heard a story that Vito was running for cover and somebody was chasing him. And Vito turned around and went bang, knocked this guy out. One shot, bro. One shot knockout. Yeah. And when he lost his belt to Hagler, to Minter, one of the British judges, you see, that was correct. Who was the British judge? And they, he was, I don't know if he was brought up for corruption on his scorecard. His scorecard was very dodgy. I forgot the story now. I used to, I mean, yeah. They fought twice. Yeah, it was Malinga, man. Yeah, it was Malinga. He beat the first time he beat, and second time he got the decision. Yeah. He just had Nigel's number, man. Fellaini, Sugar Boy, Malinga just had his number. Yeah, South African. Oh, Roy Jones destroyed Malinga, bro. Roy Jones destroyed him. He destroyed him. Malinga fought Eubank as well. Eubank went the distance. Eubank floored him, but I mean, it was a tough fight. It was a tough fight. Anthony Mackin, will British boxing survive the post AJ and Fury era? It's struggling. That's a lot of people haven't acknowledged. Like we haven't got a lot of world champions right now, and I don't know, man. Look at the fights they're putting on paper. 25 pound for Eubank Ben 2. Yeah, first was a blast and it was a good fight, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley, 25 pounds as well. Yeah, Valdez. He was getting He was past his prime. Yeah, when because Coro was aggressive. He was partying. Wow. Oh, he softened him. See, Monzon was Carlos Monzon was a piece of work, man. Great fight, but he was a piece of work. He's getting him high, yeah? Wow. I didn't know that story. Oh, gosh. And he said Johnny Fisher will be our savior, Beats. Right. Johnny Fisher. He's gone over to the Matchroom gym. He's gone over to the Matchroom gym now with Tony Sims. Man, Dave Allen exposed him. Dave Allen got that fight with this. What was that Russian doing with letting the guy hit him in the stomach with hammers? He's letting the two small black guys hit him in the stomach with hammers. That's no good for you, bro. What are you going to do? Damage internal organs. That's some old school crap. That should have went a long time ago. Letting people thump you up, to toughen up your abs. That's probably why Camille broke him up with the body shots. Like you can't prepare for boxing like that. Come on, man. Crazy. It's all good though. Makhmudov, that's it. Makhmudov. I tell you what, man. If Dave Allen beats him, Eddie's gonna be hyping up Dave Allen, bro. He's gonna go into full hype mode. With Tyson Fury, letting Josh Taylor use him as a bag. Yeah, that shit is crazy. That is, man. That is crazy. I don't know who got that idea. Tyson Fury, he's trying to hold out. He's trying to extort big money for that AJ fight, boy. He wants huge money. The purse he wants, the fight, there's no way the fight can happen because it's no fight is worth as much as the purse he wants. There's not a fight that's ever been made. He wants to become a billionaire basically of one fight. Yeah, man. It's a shame, man. It is a shame. I want to see that Matchroom series on. I just don't have Netflix. Said that the darts section of the company makes us twice as much as boxing. Imagine that. Oh, no surprise at all. Yeah, makes no surprise at all, Anthony. Yeah. Boxing is not even the most affluent, profitable sport for Matchroom, believe it or not. Yeah, darts. Darts is so popular, and snooker. Snooker is imported to so many different countries. Yeah. Yeah, darts is crazy, bud. It is crazy. Yeah. 180. Yeah. Darts is crazy over here. All them pub sports over here are very, you know what I mean? I didn't know that though, Tone. I'm still shocked to hear it, that darts turns in more than thing. Does it turn in more than snooker? It probably does, you know. It probably does. Probably does. I see Terence Crawford playing Eddie Hearn at darts and beating. He had his own darts. Terence Crawford can do everything, bro. Eddie been playing darts since he was a little kid. You do realize, like, Matchroom basically own sports like darts and snooker. They literally own it. Oh yeah, snooker is huge in Asia. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-mm. No, stop all that, bro. I mean, there's no need to talk about all that. There's no need to talk about. I'll just delete your comment. Yeah, I won't throw you out, but there's no need to talk about all that. Wow. Anthony said the darts and snooker are keeping the boxing up. Right. It's just that Eddie has a passion for the box. Yeah, because Barry walked away from it. Barry walked away from it. Wow. Imagine that, bro. See, that's the thing, man. Like when people like AJ has had a big fight, yeah, it's not that boxing, not that big, not that big. Cricket is big. It is big. It's not a bit. I tell you what, the viewing figures have gone down. I was watching a program. Viewing figures on cricket and tennis gone down. Yeah, the darts excelling, bro, excelling. And like you wouldn't believe that because like when you follow boxing, you're thinking, oh, boxing's a top sport. No, bro. No, 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 no. Anthony Mackin said Barry was telling Eddie after the Dubois defeat for AJ that at some point they will have to move on. Whoa. Mm-mm. This is what I'm saying, bro. Like boxing struggling across the pond as well. But it's struggling here too. There are struggles. There are struggles. Like who's really going to pay for in the pay per views to watch Eubank and Ben the second time or Fabio versus Joseph Parker? There'll be a few people who pay for it. Blood said it's definitely at the bottom in America. Yeah, it's a niche sport. It's a niche sport now. You know what I'm saying? It's a niche sport. That's what's happened to it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see the post Fury and AJ in the UK. It'll be very interesting. Um, what people like Jack Catterall, like people like what's his name, Dalton Smith. He's a good fighter, but these people are not. They're not big stars. You see, like Ricky Hatton passed on. Ricky Hatton was a genuine star, man. Like after he lost to Pacquiao, he was still doing what 58,000 at the Manchester Arena when he fought one Lascano. Yeah, 58,000. £60 for Joseph Parker, Fabio Wardley in America. It's just not going to sell, is it? No, I mean they're not going to touch that across there. Who's going to touch that fight across there? That's crazy. Are you sure it's that much, Lisa, over there? 60? Wow. How are they going to charge $60? They don't know Fabio Wardley over there. They don't know Joseph Parker. Wow. They're charging them $60. They're charging us 25. We're getting it for 25. Yeah, it's crazy, Lisa. It's crazy. That is crazy. Okay. Blunted is watching more college football than boxing now. Boxing helped me get back into American football. Yeah, yeah, it's true, you know. Yeah, That's crazy, man. I mean, you got. Well, I mean, look at Tank, man. Tank wouldn't rematch Lamont. Then he got his big bag against Jake Paul. And they're basically going to be fighting in pillars, isn't it? They're going to be fighting in pillars. Even Floyd talking about having another pro fight, fighting Mike Tyson. Wow. Errol Spence talking about making a comeback. Yeah, no one's going to pay for that fight with Fabio. No one's going to pay for that across the pond. No one's going to pay for it. Now, people like me, I'm going to pay for it because we don't have to pay. I tell you what, though, if they were charging the prices that they're charging you guys across there, I'm not sure I'd pay for it, man. I'm really not sure. I'd have to think about like unsubscribing, man. Do something else with my time. Boxing is not life and death, bro. You know what I mean? Do something else. Wait for the highlights. You know what I mean? Or watch some highlights. They're overcharging. They're overcharging. Tom said at Lisa, for real, it's not like they're household names in America. Someone at the zone is smoking crack. Yeah, 100%. What are they thinking of? You're going to charge $60 for Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker in America. I mean, it's bad enough. Like they're like we're complaining that we're expecting £20 a pay-per-view. 25 now. Didn't Turkey said he was going to keep them down to 20? And like it's looked like they're trying to eat all the money they can before because Turkey said he's going to cut off all the Ring magazine related pay-per-views after the Eubank fight. But you know, they try to eat as much before they, you know what I mean? They make that decision. Make the switch. Greed. The last Dillian White fight, they charge you $60 for Dillian White versus Moses Atuma. Wow. See, they better not release the numbers of what he did across the pond because you know it will be embarrassing. Muhammad said he paid for Netflix subscription. No, he doesn't know what to do with it. Any recommendations, documentaries, movies? I ain't got that, so I can't help you at all. Wow. No, they're not pay-per-view fights, Lisa. They're definitely not pay-per-view fights. Anthony said not even Canelo is worth $60 pay-per-view, in my humble opinion. And I'm a fan. That performance he put up the other week, definitely not a $60 performance. No. And he said, boxing is not that important. I'd wait for the highlights. Yeah, you're better off just waiting for the highlights. Definitely wait for the highlights. That's $60, bro. You can invest that, you know what I mean, into whatever you feel necessary. You can invest that into something else. You know what I'm saying? $60. I don't think. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure how can they justify two pay-per-views over here and there's neither of them are fighting for world titles. Not Fabio nor Chris or Conor. None of them are fighting for world titles. Unifying straps or something like that. We've only got the one champion, male champion over here, and that's Nick Bull. And when AJ comes back, you know that's going on pay-per-view, isn't it? Even though he got knocked out, they're going to put his next fight on pay-per-view. Although I don't think they put even what was his name? Was Jermaine Franklin pay-per-view? I'm sure one of them wasn't, because he did take a pay cut. Tom said Canelo could fight scrubs, and his most ardent fans will pay top dollar to watch. They went into meltdown when he lost, man. Some of them went into meltdown. Crawford Canelo was the only pay-per-view worthy fight, but even that was just part of the subscription on DAZN on Netflix. It was a subscription fight. They say it had not 41 million views or whatever globally. Not bad at all. Probably can't compete with the Tyson Jake Paul numbers, but not bad. Yeah, that's the thing, Anthony, right? Dana's league is about 16 cards for the year, and all of it will be subscription-based content. Subscription-based. And like, I think that tournament format is a good idea, like the Contender Series. I think they like that's the thing, man. Like, I don't understand them like that, man. Like, what is more interesting? Like, Dana and his but his indiscretions at UFC, or getting more boxing? I think the league is an interesting format. It could be anyway. I think it could be. And if not, like Slevin said, yo, they throw you. Dana will be thrown out. Turkey will throw. If you're not producing, you're going to get thrown out. Yeah, you're going to get thrown out. Simple as that. No one's going to keep him there because we like how his shiny bald head looks. No, you get tossed out if you can't do the job. And rightly so. You know what I mean? No one's just going to keep him around. Tom says, yes, untold Canelo fans are bud haters. They need therapy. Yeah. Doctors prescribing copium. Yeah, they went into I see one of them. What did he throw down in his house? He went, man, he started crying. He's like, oh, man. Wow. Mohammed, be quiet, Mohammed, man. You know what I mean? Be quiet. Anthony forms his own opinions. Yeah. At least he breaks down what you see. You can't even break down what you're saying, bro. You know what I mean? You can't even break. You said Dana's gonna fail at boxing, and when I asked you for an explanation why, in my opinion, come on, man. Don't worry about what no one else has to say. Worry about what you have to say. Yeah. Worry about what you have to say. You still haven't explained why the league is going to fail. Oh, what do you say? Because it'll be failed in UFC. Don't worry about what no one else has got to say. And he's not agreeing with how. I didn't say anything about corporate sponsorship. So how is he agreeing with what I say? I tell you what, bro. If I think you're stupid, I will throw you out. I don't like stupid people. I'll throw you out. No problem at all. So keep saying stupid shit. Shut up, Muhammad, man. Shut up. Dana got Tom Loeffler there, bro. Tom Loeffler's 40 years in boxing, according to Gary. 40 years. I don't know what the roster is. I haven't got. See, the thing is, because we keep talking about Dana, we're not we're not able to ask proper questions. A league format at subscription-based price, like the Contender Series, is excellent. I used to love watching the Contender. I used to love it. Watching Ishe, the Latin Snake. Remember Andre, the kid who offed himself? That was really sad, weren't it? Remember he committed suicide. That was really sad. K9 discovered K9 Bundridge. Who was the guy who won it? Was it Brewer? Grady Brewer. He was just like a gatekeeper, and he won the tournament, man. He won the tournament. Who was the other one who fought? What's his name again, man? Who did he fight? He got beaten as well. He took a beating, man. He fought like one of the prominent fighters. Who was it? He got beaten. He beat him up again. I forgot his name. I used to like him though. Latin fighter. He didn't fight Gatti, did he? I'm trying to think. He didn't fight Canelo. I used to like the Contender, Sugar Ray Leonard and Rocky. Then you had Buddy McGirt used to train the fighters, and then you had that one with the headbanger, with the 168-pound tournament. Where who was the tall American guy who fought Sakio Bika in the final? That was a wicked fight, bro. What was his name again, man? Jason Connington. Was it something Connington? That fight was bad, bro. That fight was bad. That fight was bad. I remember when K9 was in the welterweight tournament, and he beat the Mexican to come third, and he was just a gatekeeper really at the time, or just not a gatekeeper, but he was just treading water. And then he won that. Then he used that to boost his profile up, and he actually won the IBF title. Remember? He won the IBF title. Yeah. And he lost it to Ishe. That was a bit of a dodgy decision. Well, not a dodgy decision. What was it? I can't remember that. It looked a bit dodgy. Or Ishe probably got it. I used to like watching Ishe. Remember Ishe had the fight with the Latin Snake. It's a close fight, man. But the Latin Snake pulled it out. They were good fights. If they can replicate that, it won't be bad. Yeah, we used to get that over here, man. We used to get that. Obviously, delayed recording, but yeah. Most times we didn't know the results anyway, so it was like watching it live. It was flipping great. And after the Contender Series, yeah, they used to have these programs on ITV where it was Britain versus America, pro boxing. It'd be about 8 British fighters against 8 American boxers. Barry McGuigan had the British guys, I think, and Sugar Ray Leonard brought the American team over, and Alan Minter's son fought in one of them. See, that boxing does need that. That them competitive tournament structures, no matter how they do it, whether it's a unification tournament or like the one Andre Ward won, although that stretched out a little too far. It needs the tournament structure. It needs the tournament structure. Ricky Hatton said that a few years before he passed, that boxing has to go to a tournament structure. Flasher said, Muhammad, relax. Pigeon, it's free, great content. That's what they're trying to provide, right? Boxing at a subscription price, like we're honest, like I tell you what, man, that Brandon Adams is flipping a value for money fighter, bro. I don't care what nobody wants to say. And if it's signing up guys like him, he's a value for money fighter. He's good. Brandon is good. He's not great, but he's a good value money fighter. And what the boxing fans don't understand, you see, you know what really pisses me off about what they're saying, right? They want the thing to fold up before it starts, right? But when guys like Brandon can't get a fight, where's Sean? Where's Sean Ziddell doing interviews with Brandon? Where's Sean Ziddell asking the promoters to get this guy on the card? Where is he? And they're telling me that he's doing this for the fighters. I don't like most of the people in the chat, bro. I don't like the subs. I'm not doing too much more uploads no more, man. I'm not doing them, bro. I'm not doing them no more, man. It's cut down. Not doing them. Man's putting money in people's bank accounts, and they're gonna have tough fights. You think they're gonna listen? Someone like Brandon will probably be on the. I'm not sure what pay scale he'll be on. I can look it up. Let's see if it will allow me to go through. Well, see if I can find a pay structure somewhere. All right. Did I save it in that under that bookmark? I'm sure I saved it under the bookmark, the article. It's taking a little time to open up. Yeah, like when these fighters, right, who are basically obscure, when they're struggling to pay their rent and get on cards, none of these media are going around to these people, right? They're not talking about the middle of the road fighters. What business do you have to talk about what tournament shouldn't be going on, and you don't care about fighters on this level? What business, all right, does any media person have to listen, bro? You better mind Brandon, don't go find one of you media people and warn you to shut the F up, because you're messing with people's money. You're messing with people's money. That's what you're doing, right? So Brandon, for his next fight, he'll be ranked. I think that they'll see, but Brandon's coming off a win over Boychuk, so he will be a ranked fighter. Now, if he's ranked between 5 and 10, he'll be on 50K for his next fight. If he's ranked between 3 and 4, he's up to 125. If he's challenging for the belt, the vacant belt, him and his opponent will be on 375K. That's not a bad purse. And then the winner, the champion, will get 700, how much they say? 750,000 to defend their belt. Let me tell you this now, right? There's a lot of world champions who are not taking 750,000 purses defending their sanctioning body belts. A whole lot of them. Loads of them. All you people want to do is get on the bandwagon on the witch hunt. Nobody loves Dana White like you guys are trying to make out. Nobody loves no Dana White. Yeah? We need to let the thing have a trial. See how it plays out before you run your mouth. You can't run your mouth and the thing hasn't started. We don't even know how the platform is. People are crazy, man. Crazy people. How are you shooting it down before it started? I don't get that. You're shooting it down before it starts. I think it would be okay, man. I think it would be okay. They've got health insurance. Anthony said the boxers will be, hopefully, we'll be able to get a union at some point and a pension with the league as well. Yeah. I don't think they've discussed the pension, but that is the next place I believe the UBOs will have to go, is pensions, is getting a pension scheme for the fighters. He said the NFL players get pension when they get to a certain age. There's lots of sports franchises who do pensions. Most about boxing, you can't find nowhere in boxing where there's health insurance, where there's 100% ped testing. You can't get that. You can't get. There's nowhere in boxing where you'll get, like, probably on the top outlets, you'll probably get situations when, like, there's not a fighter who doesn't take home a purse. But you'll be shocked, not shocked, right? I've been to boxing events. Boxers have told me, yeah, there's fighters who are not getting paid. O'Hara Davis spoke about it. He spoke about it. Curtis Woodhouse spoke about it, about the ticket deals. They've come on video and spoke about fighters paying for their opponents, right? They're selling tickets to pay for their opponent. So if you're the house fighter, basically, right? Or if you are with the promoter and you want to be on the card and the promoter is saying, okay, he gives you a certain amount of ticket, you've got to sell enough tickets to cover your opponent's purse, right? The opponent's purse, and obviously you got to pay the coach, you got to pay for their travel and board and stuff if they're coming from abroad. And the boxers often end up fighting for nothing. Yeah. I think I was speaking about this last time. That's why you see on the small hall circuit, a lot of the time, the people making money are the journeymen. Because the journeymen are not trying to, no, I'm not selling tickets. You want me to go in the ring with your boy to pad up his record and beat me up on short notice. Nah, I'm not trying to sell no tickets. You sell the tickets, make sure I got my guaranteed purse, because without me, you've got no show. So the journeymen, who are fighting 3, 4, 5 times a month if they can, under the same arrangement, they're clocking dough, bro. They're clocking dough. Well, at least more than the fighters who are basically poverty stricken. Yeah. You don't even know what the Dana situation is. You've said nothing at all of any like definitive points. It's just Dana don't like Dana. You haven't said anything, Muhammad. You haven't said anything, right? You guys have spoke about Dana, but you haven't spoke about Tom Loeffler once. Everything's about Dana, but Tom Loeffler's a partner in it as well, right? You haven't spoke about the fighters and what they can get. Nothing at all. Why don't you do some more research on the topic outside Dana? To invested in Dana. Bob said Ishe is a mailman now. Not bad. I saw some articles and pics, and he appears to be happy in his new job. Hey, listen, mailman is all right, bro. Mailman is all right. Yeah, I tell you what, if I could get a job being a mailman, but it has to be local. I mean, see, man, I'm not traveling all 10, 20 miles out to do it. If I could get a local gig like that, I'd do it, like part-time. I'd do it. Why not? I would do it. That's all right. The guy from Brand Nubian, Sadat X, he works in a hospital. He works in a hospital right now. Hey, listen, they're good jobs, bro. Anything that like is paying the bills and doesn't risk you going in jail is a good, honest week's work. Nothing wrong with that. And see, people are gonna laugh at that, but he's probably got money, right? From when he was boxing. But obviously, you don't want to spend off all the money you earn in the ring. So you know what I mean, you do that, and you're good. You're good. It's a good job. It's a good job, man. Nothing wrong with that job. Anthony said a league format will hopefully give the fighters greater long-term protection in terms of union, collective bargaining agreements for a better line purse, pensions, the works. Yeah. I mean, let me tell you this now, right? On pay structure, right? If you're an unranked fighter, right, in any part of the globe, right, just a basic 10-round fighter, you think you're getting 30 grand to fight in the York Hall? No, you're not, bro. No, you're not. Or a VIP promotion with Steve Wood somewhere up north or wherever. You're not getting it now. You're not getting that. You're not. And if you're on the wrong end of the ticket deal, like I say, you are fighting for no purse. Under the UBO, nobody can fight without taking $150 per round home. So if you sign up for a 4-rounder, the least you're gonna walk home with is £600. So people asking for transparency. The transparency is out there. The wage structure is out there. The health insurance is there. All the stuff is laid out. We just have to see if it works. We just have to see if it works or how it works. You got a good heart. You got to do research, Muhammad. That's all it is. You got to do research. You have to do research, bro. You have to do research. But you've got to do it beyond Dana, or you're just repeating yourself like everyone else. Everyone's repeating themselves with Dana. Who else works for TKO? You got Zuffa. There's other people in there. And I tell you what, Rather than you make up your own, I'm not saying you, Muhammad, but anyone, rather than you make up your own opinion, why don't you wait to see what Callum Walsh, what Brandon Adams, or the other fighters who have signed up have to say? Let's hear what the fighters have to say. Instead of everyone making up their own opinion, which anyone can do, right? Let's hear what the fighters have to say. Yeah, Jaden Collington, that's the one. He was in that crew with the other New Yorkers. Who was it? Curtis Stevens. Were they the headbangers? I tell you what, man. He looked really good in that tournament, man. Jaden looked really good. He looked really good. And in the final with Beaker, he knocked Beaker down early. Beaker got back up. That was a great fight, bro. And Beaker stopped him. That was a great fight. What a fight that was. That was the best. I think that was the best fight on the Contender. That was the best fight, bro. Connaughton looked really good for that tournament, boy. And he was favorite to beat Beaker, but Sakio Beaker is tough, innit? Sakio Beaker, proper tough, bro. And Jaden had a dodgy, well, they say he had a dodgy chin. Remember Alan Green knocked out Jaden in about 10 seconds, punched him through the ropes. But Jaden had some skills, bro. Offensively, he had some good skills. I think he win all his fights by stoppage up until the final. Listen, the Contender was bad. If Dana can bring that back, bro. I know he's good friends with Mike Tyson. I'd like to see Mike around the setup as well. I'd love to see Mike around the fighters in the setup. That'd be dread. That'd be absolutely dread. You know what I mean? If they can script that, right? I mean, because these days you can do it even better than when. See, them days I was watching I didn't have internet. Few people had internet, but people didn't have internet like they have now, right? If they were to do that now, right? They could do it almost in a Big Brother format, where they're all living together. If they're all living, if they see. When Dana says like the Contender, are they going to be all living in one? No, I don't think they're going to do that. That'd be dread. That'd be dread. I don't think they're going to be doing that. But regardless, they don't have to do it like for like. But if they can get the tournament structure back, I think it was on Channel 5 in the UK. I can't remember what channel it was in the UK. But I used to watch it, man. I used to really like it, man. I used to love the Contender. It was good, man. What was his name? Steve. What was it? Oh, man. Who's the guy who I've got an interview with him? Who didn't he fight Oscar De La Hoya? Steve, what's his name? He used to do the Philly show. What's his name? He's a really good fighter, man. He was a former champion. Oh man, what's his name, man? I forgot his name. Let me see. Man, I forgot his name. I've got an interview with him somewhere. I know I have. See, these are forgotten fighters. These are good fighters, man. These are some good fighters, man. They get forgotten down the years, man. Imagine that I can't remember his name. That's fucking disgrace. I can't remember his name. Steve. I want to go back and listen to that, man. Let me have a look. Oscar De La Hoya. And hey, it was quite a close fight, man. He was giving Oscar a good fight. But Oscar was washed by the stage. Steve Forbes. He was in it. me have a look. What fights did he have in the contender? What fights did he have? All right, that's not contender. All right. Sure. Yeah, he lost to Grady Brewer. Was that wasn't the final, was it? Grady was just too big. You see, like Steve was a very good fighter, but he wasn't no welterweight. He weren't no 150 pounder. He won his title at what 130 or something. See, all these youngsters, they don't even know who Steve Forbes is. They don't even know who he is, mate. Yeah, former IBF super featherweight title, man. It'll be good. The league will be good. Boxers waiting years for their mandatory title shots. Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope. It's a success, or at least you know what I'm saying. People have scheduled fights. When I mean, like, you know, you're in the final, semi-final, all scheduled up. Like you say, you're not waiting for mandates to be called. You're just waiting for TV dates now. Because this sanctioning body thing is not working. It hasn't been working for ages. It's not working. Working for who? Fisher says Dana League is a great idea, better than what exists currently. Beats. Well, we'll see. Let's not say. I mean, we'll see how it works. Yeah, we'll see. We'll give it a shot. We have to give it a shot. We have to at least see it first. And he says the old system of boxing needs to go. Yeah, it's old-fashioned. It's antiquated. You know, someone in the comment section said, "I'd rather boxing to stay as it was." I said, "Really?" It is antiquated. Flasher says the old system is still working. Kind of. How is it kind of working? It's working because Turkey's invested money in it, but it's not working, right? Before Turkey was here, right? Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn were against each other. We didn't have no undisputed heavyweight champion and was unlikely to get it, right? Bob Arum said we're not going to get Bivol versus Beterbiev because Bivol was boring. It wasn't working. It wasn't working. The system was busted. The system was busted, bro. It wasn't working. It was like they were still good fights, but no, it wasn't working. Turkey got all the promoters working together. Turkey managed to get Matchroom, Queensbury, Golden Boy, PBC, all on one card. Top Rank, all on one card. Yeah. What are you talking about, Fletcher? You're just randomly posting up. I don't even know what you're talking about. What are your comments are? I mean, you just Commenting everywhere. Guzzy, he said he's self-employed at the moment, but would love to be a postman. Yeah, you just you get up, well, maybe 7, work until 1, and go home. Yeah, I'd do that job. I would definitely do that job. I wouldn't have no problem doing that job. Yeah, whatever, Flasher. You know what I mean? Whatever. Whatever, Flasher. Whatever, isn't it? You know what I mean? If I don't work, what's it got to do with you? You know what I mean? If you don't work, you see, the thing is, if you work or not, it doesn't bother me. I'm not affected if you work or not, bro. Doesn't bother me. That's your business. Whatever I do is my business. What you do is your business. Isn't it, Flasher? Well, the nutters are getting back in there. I've got to block a couple of nutters. The nutters are back. The nutters are back. Get the nutters out. All right. You had your moment. The Universe Galaxy says boxing should be banned. Mm-mm. I think he's on the way to getting blocked in a minute. We'll see. Wow. The sometimes the hangouts just erupt into insanity, man, in the comment section. Anthony says, Don King, Aaron, Warren, those guys are old as dirt. They thrived under the old system, but it's no longer fit for purpose. Only a league structure can make the best fight the best. I've said that. I wish that Turkey's legacy be that he creates a league for boxing. Oh, they blocked already, Don. Yeah, these people are crazy, man. Wow. Yeah, I mean, people are crazy. Tell you what, bro. Well, I don't need to say it, yeah. I've done enough. I've put in enough work, yeah, that if I want to work, I can, and if I don't, I do. Let's just say that, yeah. I know the LDBC trying to say he's on welfare. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No welfare. You know what I mean? With that, you know what I mean? I'm doing what I do on my own terms. You know what I mean? Only a league structure can make the best fight the best. Yes, yes. I think it could be the way to go. Tom says watching Beaker fights was nearly as painful as having to fight him. Ugly fights. Remember when he fought Joe Calzaghe when he came over, and he headbutted Joe, but cut him in his eye. Yeah, he did fight some ugly fights, Beaker. He did, but he had that physical presence in it. Anthony says, yeah, Beaker busted up Calzaghe. Joe won on pure boxing that night. Yeah, yeah. Tom says the league system will be interesting if they can get it to work. Yeah. See, the competition format is always good. Like before Carl Froch and AJ started stadium fights, like one of the staple Matchroom products was the prize fights tournaments, right? And they were all, for the most part, D-level fighters. You know what I mean? But they were very popular. They were very, very popular, the prize fighter tournaments. That's what Ben Shalom stole from Matchroom. He used to call it the ultimate fighter, which sounds a little like you see the way he had it written. You know what I mean? Yeah, the tournaments might be the way to go. Who's that nut job pigeon? Yeah, they just come from nowhere, Tom. They just come from nowhere. You know what I mean? One of them the other day was asking, like, if I had a partner and stuff like that. They're weird, isn't it? Man, it's weird. Tone, always a long night when Beaker fought with his opposition and those in attendance. Yeah, Beaker he was uncompromising. Take away the power from promoters as well with a league system. Well, here's the thing though. It still needs a lot of I think there's still going to be a lot of kinks that need to be worked out. You know what I'm saying? Because whether you can get world champions or world ranked fighters in the sanctioning bodies or the sanctioning bodies to comply is another thing. Because before this, we had the WBSS tournament, but the likes of Bob Arum said he's not going to let his fighters fight in that tournament on another network. And then he signs up the two winners who won the tournament. So he didn't want to get ESPN or ask ESPN to host the tournament, but he signed up the two winners. And he's a piece of crap. He didn't promote Josh Taylor properly, and Inouye's last fight was on Facebook. You know what I mean? PBC, they didn't invest in the WBSS tournament. They didn't invest in it. It was only people who invested were Matchroom, the Sowlands, and I'm sure Frank Warren had some fighters in there, but and other European outlets and the Turks and stuff. They had Yildirim. Wow. Give it a go. Give it a go. Look, the fighters are getting paid. The fighters are getting paid. Yeah? Let's stop all the fake outrage, pretending that the fighters are not getting paid. They're getting paid. Yeah? They're getting way above what the regular rate of pay for fighters on their scale. For Callum Walsh hasn't challenged for a world title. He's got 15 fights. He's never fought no one in none of the sanctioning body's top 5 or 10. The man's bought a house and farmland, and he's got not just a house, he's got land and farm animals and everything. Yeah. Got to like try new things. All this no. And you know, like whatever David done to them fighters is not good. But yo, we have court systems in the West, and they're being utilized by the fighters. You ask these people, all right, so who would run it? Who should run it then? If you're like, I ain't got no problem if Dana don't do it. As long as the format is put in place, I don't care who does it. And this is far too much corruption and far too beholden to top promoters for title shots. Yeah. Yeah, because if you're not with the top guys, then you know what I mean, the sanctioning bodies are they going to prioritize you? Yeah. It was like if you wasn't signed with the IBC when the mob was in control, or when the cartel was running things in British boxing, or if you was a heavyweight back in the 80s and you weren't signed with Don King, how could you get in the loop? He basically managed and promoted the whole top 10, which I mean is one of the reasons we have a Muhammad Ali Act. Yeah. Yeah. Big up Crescencio. Tom says, unfortunately, promotional outfits and sanctioning bodies have the sport in a stranglehold, manipulating matchups, opportunities, and results. You're correct, Anthony Mackin. The league is not a brand new idea. No, it's not. It's not new. It's not new. It's not new. The only time we get tournaments really these days, we get unification tournaments. When was the last one? Been a while. It gives the fans like a bit of it gives them a bit of stability in what like in the timelines in the weight class. You get what I'm saying? Okay, you're gonna fight preliminary rounds, quarters, and then you're in the semis, then the finals, and it gets a storyline with the fighter's career rather than just randomly, okay, we make this fight here, then make that fight. No, it's not working. It's not working. It really is not working. Wow. Tell you, man, pay scale is not Canelo money, but listen, the Canelo money is not there for 90, how much percent of fight? It's not there anyway. They're not making that. I think they're going to do about 16 cards. And if they're doing the tournament in, how much weight divisions are? Because it's only 16 cards. They can't do a tournament in all weight classes if only 16 cards. I don't know if they plan to cover women's boxing. I'm not sure. Where would they get the women? They've all gone Netflix. They've all gone to Netflix. $20,000 for an unranked fighter. I tell you what, there's lots of guys who are out there getting a $20,000 purse will make a lot of difference to their lives, believe it or not. It's not a lot, but it will make a big difference. I mean, wow. These people, man. Anyway, we have to wait and see if they can attract the viewers, then it will be a success, says Tom. That's the main thing, is if are people going to buy it? And I think they'll get the viewers because it looks like Paramount are the favorites, right? And with it just being subscription-based content, it wins. I think it wins. And with Turkey behind it, you know what I mean? I feel like they get the right fighters. I think it'd be okay. I think it will be a-okay. All they've got to do is get a couple of tournaments in a couple of weight classes, and then year after that, switch it up. So if they're planning, like, they don't want the tournament to stretch too long. Because remember that tournament that Ward was in, it went on for ages, didn't it? It was well over a year or whatever. It was too long. And at the end, he didn't even challenge for 4 belts. It was just a couple of belts, isn't it? Yeah. Could be okay, man. It could be. We don't know. It could be. Perrion. Von Perrion. He says, your thoughts on Lara versus Crawford at 160. It's a difficult fight, man. It's a difficult fight because the only person I see really put break down Lara's style like that was his name? Angulo. Remember Angulo? He was putting the bars on my guy, and then Lara caught him with that shot, like busted his orbital bone late. I think it's a tough fight. Although Lara ain't got legs like that no more, Crawford should win. I think Crawford should win, but you never know. You never know. You never know, man. Lara is an unsung fighter. You know what I mean? Lara is unsung. Floyd didn't fight him. Floyd could have fought him for titles. That would have been an interesting fight. Lara versus Floyd would have been interesting. Floyd had a couple of the belts, and I think Lara had one of the lower tier mandatory positions or number 1 positions for one of the belts. That would have been an okay fight. Is Lara fighting Johnny Beck next, or is he fighting Adamas? I don't know. I haven't even been keeping up. I haven't even kept up. That's why I haven't done no news stories. I haven't kept up. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get a post done until what's the day? So maybe Friday. Maybe Friday. Yeah, man. Ishe Smith just got a regular job now, a regular post office job. World champion. You see Floyd still fighting, man. That's the thing, man. Like money, people like talking about other people's money situation, but people don't know what people have to outlay, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what the outlay is? Like Fat Joe and Jada, they were saying that just because they've got money, like they can't stop working. Can't stop working, man. So it's what it is. A lot of world champions have regular jobs now. They've retired. A lot of them. A lot of them. That's what October Red said on the hangout. The new world champion is working a regular 9 to 5 now, and I think he was proposed an offer where it was either take these fights for no belt or take the belt for less money, and he went for the belt. He went for the belt, ended up retiring, and the belt can't pay the dues, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is sometimes, man. Unfortunately. People, I'm out of here, man. Peace. Hopefully catch you up soon. I'll have to try and get that YouTube stream working. I'll do a live.